what's up, everybody? Marcos Vegas for Fight Up TV, being joined here with Bruce Carrington, who returns to the ring September 27th in New York. Third fight of the year, faces Suleiman Sagawa. 6 fights, Bruce, 5 knockouts, man. I don't want to put any pressure on you, but I would say, like, a lot of fans are like, all right, is Shushu going to get a knockout here in New York?
Right. But I mean, I've every single fight I've had in New York has been a stoppage. So I think at this point, people like that's what's expected. But man, don't put that pressure on me, dude. You know what I mean? No, but my goal is just to always just break down my opponent, break their will, and if the stoppage comes, the stoppage comes. I never like really plan on it. I would say that there was a couple fights where I just knew that I was gonna stop a guy, like my last fight and the fight before that. Well, I'm just shooting my last 3 fights actually. I felt like I was gonna stop the guy, but I wasn't like too public with it. It was just more so like I just knew that I was gonna be able to win in a dominant fashion. But and that's the same way I feel in this fight as well too. I feel like I'm gonna win in a dominant fashion. I train really hard, and I really believe in myself. So in my skill, my IQ, it's gonna be an interesting fight because Suleiman Sagawa, he is a tough test. He did well against Ruben Villa. He's fought some decent guys. He's beat some decent guys, and this is a guy that you can't sleep on. And I'm really excited for this opportunity.
We've been just asking a bunch of fighters to give us their Canelo versus Berlanga breakdown. I know Berlanga is a New York native like you. How do you see that fight shaking out?
Yeah, man, Berlanga, he's one of those me and him grew up together. Like me and him, his family, we tight. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wow, okay. That I did not know.
Yeah, no, we're tight. That's my boy. Yeah, Berlanga, I really want him to be able to bring out what I've seen when he's doing in amateurs, and that's his boxing ability. Getting all them knockouts, I feel like, he's gotten used to just knocking guys out, walking guys down. But Canelo's not one of those guys you do that with. Canelo has his toughest times with boxers, and Edgar Berlanga can box. I want him to get back to those basics, and if he does do that, he's gonna put on a much better fight than people think that's gonna happen on fight night. But if he goes in there and tries to knock Canelo out, then it's gonna be a tough night for Edgar. So I just want him to be really smart, be real tactical, and use the experience that he's built up to this point, every bit of it to beat Canelo Alvarez. But obviously I feel like people have Canelo as the favorite, but I'm gonna go for my boy Edgar Berlanga all day. That's my dog, bro. I mean, I can't go against New York, can't go against my boy Edgar, and that's just I really feel like this is a great fight for him. I'm super happy that he's gotten this opportunity.
Have you had a chance to speak to him at all since the fight was announced?
Yeah, I talked to him, and it's funny because he actually was like 2 years ago. He was been saying like, man, we're gonna fight Canelo, we're gonna whoop his ass, we're gonna do da. So I'm just like, yeah, like, I'm like, but now that the fight happened, I'm like, oh man, like it's happening, bro. It's amazing that he kind of just had this foresight to be able to set that goal and then actually tackle it. Man, I'm super happy for him, bro. It's just like, for someone that I've grown up with to be able to get this opportunity that people are just clawing at, and he just got it on a silver platter. It's just amazing for me to watch.
Yeah, no, Berlanga is very, very confident he wins this fight, and I think he exudes like an aura of confidence. Like, has he always been that way, even since he was a kid?
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's also comes with the New York swagger too.
Yeah.
I mean? So, as just always was just natural. That just comes with this. You know what I mean? So that's just what it is.
So, how do you see him winning?
I would see him winning by decision.
Wow,
yeah,
decision. Because a lot of people feel like, no, the only way he wins, knockout. He has to knock out Canelo.
Nah. Berlanga has the power. He has the power for sure. But Canelo has a habit of letting a lot of rounds go. You know what I'm saying? So if he's able to keep Canelo back and use his feet, then we're gonna have a good, he's gonna have a good run for himself. But I don't. And Canelo has been hit by like the hardest punchers, even going up in weight and still, dealing with with a lot of power. So Canelo getting knocked out, I don't see that, but I think Berlanga, his best chance is trying to go for the decision.
In Edgar for as long as you have, when you see like some of the stuff people are saying, what are they underestimating about Edgar coming into this fight? What is Canelo underestimating about Edgar coming into this fight?
I think it's a bit of the experience aspect. Edgar, from the guys that he's fought to jump up and fight a guy like Canelo, that's like it's kind of crazy in terms of the experience. So I think that plays a part. And then Edgar, I would say, people like the fans have been kind of like saying that Edgar hasn't been putting on super dominant performances his last few performances, I guess. But man, I mean, you get the win, you get the win. But when it's time to show up, that's when it matters. You know what I'm saying? Like a fight like this can bring out the best out of someone, and you just never know what'll happen. He might just upset Canelo Alvarez, and then what people got to say. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I really wish the best for Edgar Berlanga, man. I'm going for my boy all the way. Canelo Alvarez, he is one of the best to ever lace him up. But my boy Edgar, I really hope he does his thing, man.
Yeah, if he gets the upset, I've heard a lot of people say like that's the upset of like the decade.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, he's been able to manifest everything up to this point. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see. I think it's the first few rounds are going to be crucial in terms of the power. And I've interviewed other fighters and they said like there's no way that Berlanga can hit harder than a Triple G, but like
mhm.
Triple G wasn't like a one punch knockout artist,
Yeah. He's more of like a wear you down type of
Yeah,
guy.
yeah,
Yeah,
and he was small. Like I look at Berlanga. This guy's really light heavyweight. Berlanga.
yeah, yeah. He's a big dude.
Yeah,
Berlanga's a big dude. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that is another thing too. Like Berlanga has like a snappy type of power, where Triple G has more of a thudding type of break you down type of power, and who knows? One shot might make the whole difference in the fight. And both of these guys are known power punches, so it's gonna be a treat for the fans, man. And I'm glad it's gonna be in Vegas because I'm gonna be right there. I'm gonna be right in the building.
Oh, you're gonna be there?
Oh, for sure, for sure. Come
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
I gotta be there.
Oh man, that's good to hear. I know you have the fight on September 27th, and I know when a fight's close for a fighter, they tend to kind of close themselves off. But I'm sure Edgar's gonna appreciate that.
Oh, for sure. Not listen, like that's my boy. Like I said before, like we literally used to spar each other. That's another guy that I used to go back and forth with. Now he's so much bigger than me. But yeah, man, me and him used to be just duking it out and sparring and whatnot. So, um, for me to just see that he got an opportunity like this, I gotta go see him. I gotta go support him. I mean, and like that's my boy though. It runs deeper than boxing when it comes to me and him.
Oh man, that's good to hear, man. I like hearing about that stuff. It seems like you guys forged a real deep friendship, given your guys' experiences together.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, 100%.
So, was it the last fight or the fight before that Noe just randomly showed up?
Oh, that was the last fight. It
The
was the
last
last fight.
fight.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All right. So
yeah,
let's get back to that.
yeah,
So it caught me by surprise because you guys are in different weight classes, and
yeah,
from what I read, Noe was specifically there to see you fight. So
yeah, yeah.
when you heard about that in the back in the locker room, what kind of reaction did you have?
I mean, I actually knew about it before, like the week of the fight, like, or
Hmm.
probably the week before the fight that he was gonna come. So, I mean, I really didn't care much about it. I was just really like I was just gonna do what I was planning to do anyway. I'm focused on my opponent. I'm not focused on trying to put on a show or for Inouye and nothing like that. Like the Shushu show is always gonna be the Shushu show, and it's gonna put on a show regardless. The work is gonna speak for itself. So, anyway, when I heard he was gonna be there, I'm like, okay, cool, just another butt in the seat. And but that let me know that he has his eyes on me for as a potential opponent because he left like right after me as well too. He didn't even stay for the main event, and that lets me know that I'm getting the attention of two-time undisputed champion. I'm getting the attention of multi-division world champion, and that speaks a lot. For me to only have 12 fights, and that lets me know I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing.
So yeah, that is still a weight class above. Curious, what happens when he moves up to 126? We've seen him, I don't want to say struggle, but the opponents that he's had, even though he's dispatched all of them up to this point, and what he's accomplished has been amazing, but they are able to take his punches a little bit better. Obviously, because a bigger fighter is able to absorb a punch from a smaller guy coming up in weight. But how have you seen his move up at this point? And do you feel he's becoming a little bit more vulnerable as he moves up?
I believe so. I believe he's becoming a little bit more vulnerable. But to be honest, I mean, I don't know because he actually tightened up on his defense throughout the years. To be honest, if you really think about it, like I think I've seen him got hit more when he was much in the lower weight classes, and even when he fought Donaire and stuff. But now he's actually starting to, granted he got knocked down when he fought Luis Neri, and I didn't really see too much of this last fight. I saw like some highlights of it, but from the tweets and stuff that I've been seeing that I've been tagged in, people was just kind of like, oh, like Shushu, like I can see you possibly beating him because he does this and that wrong. But he is definitely still very dominant in these divisions, man. Like he's still getting stoppages, he's still getting these knockouts. So it's gonna be very interesting to see if or when he comes up to the featherweight division, how he's gonna handle the size of those guys.
A common question that I hear when a certain fighter chooses an opponent, just from my experience, is like, hey, so and so chose you for a reason. Why do you feel that? And it's usually like what I've heard is so and so fighter thinks he can beat you. That's why he chose you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that in no way feels that with you? Like he sees you and says, hey, I can beat this guy. This is why I'm specifically seeking him.
Possibly, who knows? But I will say things are different when you step in the ring with a guy like me, and I'm sure he'll feel the same way. When vice versa, when it comes to me knowing that I'll be able to beat him. But yeah, man, that's a dream fight. That's a dream fight right there. But at the same time, like I don't want to be too associated with Inoue, because I want to be able to be known as just Bruce Shushu Carrington, like my own person, not the guy that wants to fight Inoue. I don't want to be known as just this person that is just calling him out and just trying to get a big cash fight just because, like, no, I really want to fight the best.
Would you be willing to fight him in Japan, or would it be something that you wouldn't go over there?
100%. I'll definitely be
100%.
willing to fight in Japan. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
So I know you said like, hey, you don't want to be associated with this, but that's just me thinking like you're confident you would win. What do you present that's different that he hasn't seen before in the ring that makes you so confident that you beat him?
What does he present that's different?
No. You what do
What do
you
I present?
present?
Oh, well, it's just my IQ. It's really just my IQ, and there's a lot of things that I do in sparring and in the gym that I have not exposed in the ring yet. So you guys have not even seen the best of me yet. You guys haven't seen the tricks and the craftiness and the things that I do in sparring and that I will do in the ring at some given point when I feel like the time is right. Because as of right now, everybody's like real happy and satisfied, and they like what I'm giving in the ring, but there's so much more. There's so much more that you guys have not seen, and I just can't wait for the time to come for me to do everything I need to do to show you that, oh man, this is his full arsenal. Like, this guy is one of a kind.
Yeah, when that fight happens, it's going to be a big fight and a really interesting fight. Given that he's a small guy, he's going up in weight. Just taking a step back and you looking at it objectively, would you say that Inoue's pound for pound number one in your opinion? I know he gets some criticism about the opponents that he's faced. People say like, well, who are these guys? But from what he's done, do you feel he's pound for pound number one, Bruce?
Number one. 1 second. What the heck is going on? My phone.
You kind of froze in the matrix there. What's going
Yeah,
on?
right. Can you see me now?
There we go. We got you back.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so yeah, number one, I don't know. I can't say number one because granted he's done what he's done, right? But I do believe in people that know boxing, like the level of competition is different at those lower weight classes than it is when you start going up. You know what I'm saying? So I would probably have him as number three.
Oh
Terrence
wow,
Crawford
number three.
Yeah, Terrence Crawford number
Woo.
one, Usyk at number two.
Yeah.
And then Inoue at number three.
Just strictly because of you feel that the competition is a lot harder as you move up in weight, just strictly because of that?
Yes, strictly because of that.
Wow. Okay. Because a lot of people would counter like, yo, dude, he's a smaller guy going up in weight and just murking these guys, like a small guy doing this.
It's impressive. It's 100% impressive. But you can say the same thing about Terrence Crawford. He did the same thing. He was a smaller guy and he's running through. He had when his time at 147 was all knockouts. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you can say the same thing about Terrence Crawford as well too. So yeah, that's what I believe though.
Mm. Hey, I know we mentioned him a little bit earlier, and I think he moved up a weight class. But would you ever consider a fight with Ray Ford?
I would consider something like that for sure. Raymond Ford, he's a great fighter. That'll be a great fight for for the East Coast. Um, yeah, man, that'll be a great fight. I would look forward to a fight like that, but he's moving to 130. And he's just not on my radar at the moment right now. So if the fight happens, I'll be ready for it for sure.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I know you guys are separated by the weight class, but it's you're gonna move up at some point eventually.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, at some point for sure. I can see myself going up to 130 when I'm finished, handling business at 126. And yeah, we'll probably meet up at some point for sure. But as of right now, I'm focused on the featherweight division.
Hey, so you faced a few notables in your amateur days.
Yeah,
When I was doing research for you, one was Joe Cordina. You guys
yeah,
fought.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
facing
yeah.
Shakur at a lot at another weight class. But I don't know. Just give me some perspective on this cat because a lot of people aren't. Well, one because Shakur's so damn good,
Mhm.
but a lot of people are saying like Joe, this is a showcase fight for
Mhm.
Shakur.
I mean, they're saying that as well because because of Joe's last fight, how that outcome happened and everything like that. But um, because of that, like people are kind of sleeping on Joe Cordina. But I do feel like Joe Cordina, he's going to be able to put up a great fight. He has pretty great offense. I like his defense as well too. There's definitely some holes in his game when it comes to that. But I feel like it's gonna be an interesting fight the first few rounds for him and Shakur. But I do feel like Shakur is gonna, give the edge because he's just so disciplined when it comes to his craft. There's not a lot of guys that can be able to land a glove on Shakur. And that's gonna be really tough to see Joe Cordina get around. And hopefully, he doesn't get frustrated and he'll be able to, do better than a lot of Shakur's other opponents. But if not, it'll be one of those showcase fights for Shakur for sure.
How old were you when you fought him?
I was about 19 years old. I was actually thinking about turning pro because I was the Olympic alternate. So I mean, knowing like you have to have some type of like good amateur background to have some type of leverage when you come into the pros to when you're going into the contracts and whatnot. But when I fought Joe, it was very humbling. To it was like because I never fought internationally at the time. I didn't really have that much experience, and mentally, I really didn't believe myself and wasn't really there. I just wasn't the fighter that I am today. Like it was night and day. And when I fought him, I was like, yeah, nah, I gotta stay amateur for a while because I need to get this experience. I want to be 100% secure that I won't lose when I turn pro because this happens. Like when I fought him, he came with the European style, and being that it was something I've never seen before, it kind of puzzled me, and I didn't know how to deal with it. So I was like, yeah, no, I gotta continue to get used to this and solve this Rubik's cube before I turn pro. And yeah, I actually am thankful to be able to have that experience with Joe because he's helped me turn me to the fighter that I am today.
How close of a relationship do you have with Shakur?
We were not that close. Like,
Yeah.
we see each other, say hi, bye type joint, but it's really not like, our relationship really, you would say like a real close relationship, to be honest.
Oh, okay. I thought you guys were really close
Nah,
from what I saw on social media, but they always say, that saying in social media. Social media is not what
yeah,
you portray on social media is usually not the case. Uh,
yeah,
Another person you faced in the amateurs was Virgil Ortiz. How old were you
yeah.
when you faced him?
Man, we were probably like 13, 14, 15. Each of those ages. We were probably like, we fought about three times and
Oh,
he got the
wow.
best of me. He got the best of me out of the three. I won the first one and he got the last two. And but yo, it was always a tough fight. Always a tough fight with Virgil, bro. Like, but we've built a brotherhood from then though. You know what I'm saying? Me and him, like, we always show each other respect, show each other a lot of love. And he got so much bigger than me now in terms of his weight and stuff. Like, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy for me to say that I fought Virgil Ortiz, you know what I'm saying? So, great dude though, great dude. Him and his dad are real cool people, and I'm really happy to see where he's at in his career.
Yeah, that's the one thing I was thinking of. Like he's 5 weight classes above you now.
Yeah, yeah, word. It's crazy. Yeah, that shit is crazy, man.
Was he like a hard hitter even back then?
Always, always. His
Yeah.
body shots especially. His body shot, like his placement was nasty. I remember the first time I fought him, like I was like really boxing him in and out, and I was just touching and moving, so he wasn't really able to hit me. The second fight, I was kind of like I felt a little ballsy. I'm like, man, I want to like scrap with him. Let's go. Wrong move. He caught me with a good body shot. I'm like, oh no. So yeah, that was really good. You know what I mean? That was a really good fight. And then the third fight was really back and forth, but he was able to win that by split decision. And bro, I can say that, that was one of my favorite trilogies in the amateur boxing for me, bro. Like to say that I've had, good fights with Virgil Ortiz is something to remember.
Yeah, that's like Sean Porter fighting Usyk and beating him, and now Usyk
Right,
is like a heavyweight.
right, exactly. Yeah, crazy, man.
Yeah, that's nuts. I always tell Sean, like, hey, Sean, what's up? Undisputed heavyweight champion. You beat Usyk in the
Right,
amateurs.
right.
For you, the champions at 126, the WBO is Divino Espinosa. IBF is Angelo Leo, who just got that spectacular knockout win a few weeks ago. The
Mhm.
WBA is Nick Ball, and the WBC is Ray Vargas. Do you know how would you rank the champions in terms of just pure ability, how good they are in those
Mhm.
orgs?
I would say in order. I think Espinoza has like he's the most promising out of the bunch. His size alone is something to deal with. But then on top of that, he's a tall guy that knows how to fight on the inside. Great placement to the body, great punch output. You see that with Robesi Ramirez, excuse me, Ramirez. And then on top of that, he has a lot of will. Man, that's a guy that I would say he's the most promising out of the bunch. And then I like Nick Ball. Nick Ball, what he showed against Raymond Ford and Ray Vargas, he showed he has a lot of tenacity, man. That's something that I, really liked when I was watching him fight, and that made me really interested in wanting to fight him as well too. Then on top of that, I like Angelo Leo. Angelo Leo, he showed a, I think he showed a lot of tenacity as well too in breaking down Venado Lopez and then getting that knockout. That was very impressive. He's been one of those guys that has been kind of just like waiting in the shadows for his time, and and I'm happy that he was able to come out, show out, and do what he's supposed to do. But and then Ray Vargas, I would say because he's getting older. I'm noticing like he's starting to slow down a little bit. You're not seeing him fight as much, so his inactivity is definitely going to play a part. And yeah, that's my list of champions and the way how it goes.
You had a preference if you could play matchmaker and you had no
I don't care.
barriers.
I don't
I
care.
know you say you don't care, but is there one that says like that just gets your juices flowing the most? Like, hey, if I beat this guy, it's a feather in my cap.
Hmm. Maybe Espinoza, just because of the height disparity. I think that's what it is. Like with him, he will probably bring the most difficulty, maybe, just because of his height. But I have no problem with that. Like I fought a lot of like tall guys taller than him in the amateurs, and beating them. And I just know I have the remedy for it. So that's really what it is. For anybody else, maybe it'll be much harder, but for me, I know how to deal with that.
Yeah, that's a fight that maybe it's brewing. We could potentially see in the future. Another, like style wise, I don't know how would you deal or handle the I don't know what you would call it, the aggressiveness of a Nick Ball, man. That guy just keeps coming and coming and throwing. Doesn't matter. Just pressure.
Man, anybody that's known me since the amateurs, they know that I'm a pure boxer before anything. Like I am I'm moving around using my feet and whatnot. Like I wasn't this come forward aggressive boxer puncher guy in the amateurs. I wasn't that much. I was really slick, and I mean I still am slick, but I was more so just on the outside using my jab, my 1-2s, long distance, and so I am naturally that guy. So I think that's the type of style that will be able to give Nick Ball the problems that will be needed for me to get the victory.
He's an entertaining fighter, though, man. Right?
Yeah, he is. He for sure is.
Yeah. I just you don't expect that from him. You look at him and you see like, oh, short guy, like, oh, okay, and then he's whack, like
Yeah.
he reminds me a lot about Pitbull. He's like an English
Yeah,
Pitbull.
similar. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's similar. Yeah, he's very similar to Pitbull.
The last few knockouts you've had have been like damn, like eye-opening, like brutal knockouts. Like
Yeah.
on one end, you're like, yeah, like like it's like a flex, like yo, I put in the work. This is the result. But I
Yeah.
was just wondering, like, especially with like the Filipino fighter, like, is there ever a point when you land a punch and you see a guy land the way he lands, and you're like, oh crap, I hope this guy's okay.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Like, come on, like, yeah, this is like boxing, and you know, we are like going in there and like just duking it out or whatever, but we don't want to like have any life, like threatening type of things to happen to our opponents. Like that's never the case. It's never that person, it's really just all business. So when things like that, you just pray and hope that the fighters are okay, so they can be able to go home to their family and still like be well and talk well and everything in that sort, because it could be you at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So you got to just always be mindful and stuff like that. But at the same time, you still have to take care of business and do what you have to do. And if things happen, things happen. You know, you just got to just put everything under God's will and just let go and let God at that point.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Like for a second, I was like, "Oh man, this guy looks really hurt," but then he got up and he was okay. What I guess are you doing anything different like
Mm.
these last few fights that have resulted in those types of knockouts, or it's just you're really coming into your own at this point?
No, I mean, I strategically, like I've been telling people, like I think before I fought Jason Sanchez, I was strategically like showing little bits and pieces of what I'm able to do and what I can do, for a reason. Like I kind of wanted to people to underestimate me, but after a while, I started to see I was getting a lack of respect, and that was something that I didn't like. I couldn't like handle. I couldn't take. So it was like, okay, like you guys weren't like really noticing my boxing IQ and what I was doing in the ring, the generalship or whatever. All right, and now it's time for me to turn it up because you guys are playing with me. So with Jason Sanchez, he's never been stopped. For Oscar Valdez, for Blue Nose, for all these different guys, I'm like, listen, I'm gonna show that I'm gonna a different level and I'm gonna stop this dude. And I got him up out of there in the second round. Bernard Torres has never been stopped. Got him up out of there around 5-6, and you know, and even with this last dude, Brian De Garcia, De Gracia. Yeah, we all like in the camp. We were just focused on like stopping a tough guy like that to continue to put out statements. You know what I'm saying? And especially being that people they put a lot of pressure on me because I'm ranked like top 3 in every single organization, every single boxing organization except for the IBF. And then they're associating me with Inoue and all of the different type of stuff. They want me to fight these champions in my division. So it's like they expect high things from me. So I got to give them what they want.
Yeah, how does it I don't how does it feel to have those high expectations on you? Is it something that you like, that you embrace, or is it something that like at times you feel the pressure, I guess, of like living up to those expectations?
Now I love it because like you just want to see the best of me, and I want to be able to continue to just put on for the fans. I love it. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like the pressure, I think I fight best when I'm under pressure. So, um, dude, like come on, bring it on. Like I ain't tripping about it, bro. If you want to continue to put the pressure on me, you're gonna continue to get more out of me. So, hey, listen, it is what it is.
So you said at times you get like this feeling that you're going to knock out or get a knockout. Are you getting that same type of feeling for this show coming up on the 27th?
I am I am gonna perform and I'm gonna give a crowd his performance. I can't
You don't
tell
want to
you.
jinx yourself.
Yeah. I'm not, what I mean? Like Sagawa, he has a lot of holes in his game that I will expose, but I'm gonna focus on, just breaking him down and taking his will. And when I do that, then we'll see what else happens.
So what else is going to happen? Like looking in the future, you're confident you're going to get this win. You mentioned, you're ranked number 3 in all the organizations, except the IBF. You're wearing a WBO shirt. The WBO champion is Davino Espinoza.
Uh-huh.
Is your sights on him on the WBO route, or where are your sights in terms of a potential title shot?
Man, my sights are anywhere. Like I'm not focused on one champion. Yeah, I'm winning WBO shirt. Yeah, but I'm not focused on just the WBO. I'm focused on WBC, IBF, WBO. Like whoever has, excuse me, WBA. Whoever has a belt, I want to fight them. That's just it. That's just is what it is. If they want to fight me and they're ready to fight me, come on, let's get it on. You know what I mean? But until that time comes, I'm just gonna keep knocking down whoever's in front of me.
Closing out this interview, Bruce, for you, what's important to you for this next year? Closing out this 2024 and heading into 2025.
Man, 2024, we got this fight coming up with Suleiman Sagawa. I want to continue to just put on, dominant performances so people can, just continue to associate me with an entertaining fighter. And, come for 2025, we just continue to set ourselves up for the world title, man. I feel like at this point now, we're in a good position to where I can say that we're going to fight for the world title the first quarter of the year, possibly, hopefully. And yeah, man, after that, man, sky's the limit. We're just gonna just see what else in terms of like unifying, maybe even go undisputed. Bro, listen, it's just whatever, bro. I'm just ready to just be the best, man, and just be known as the best, and just continue to just give crowd pleasing performances.
I saw that smile when you mentioned undisputed. I didn't know how much that would mean for you.
I mean, that would be great. That would be great. Like, come on, like this is like that's like one of the main milestones that a boxer wants to, achieve. To be undisputed. Not a lot of boxers, can say that they were undisputed. Unified world champ, yeah. Multi-division world champ, yeah. But undisputed. That's very far and few. It's happening more and more in the last few years recently though. But man, I would say that I would definitely want to be a part of that list because that's a prestigious list.
All right. That is Bruce Carrington. Shushu, thank you for the time. Appreciate it. This man right here returning to the ring September 27th in New York on ESPN, fighting Suleiman Sagawa. Hey, man, great chat, Bruce. Appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm going to go get my food, man.